everybody? Welcome to my channel, Be Free Now with Maria. So today I want to talk about making a decision. So we want to decide on which master we're going to serve. In other words, are we going to serve our ego or we're going to serve our soul? And the reason why this is important, right, to make this decision is that when we make this decision, we will then continue to anchor off of that decision. In other words, we make the decision that we are going to serve our soul, and when we catch ourselves serving our ego, it's going to be easier for us and faster for us to come back to serving our soul, because we've already made the decision that this is what we want for ourselves. And whenever we're on the other side of the street, we're going to feel very uncomfortable, and we're going to know, oh, wait a minute, I need to come back. Right? I need to cross the street. I need to come back. I need to come back to my soul. I need to get back to center. So that's the power of a decision, right? That it's going to help us as we go along. And when we consciously decide, something else happens, means that we're not going to be dragged around. We're not going to be just going with the ego, continuously. We are going to catch ourselves because we are clear, right? That that's not where we want to hang out. We don't want to hang out in the places that don't feel good, that are riddled with fear, that stop us from the things that we want to do. So then we're going to shift. Or if we are faced with a situation that feels uncomfortable, unexpected news and so forth, we know, right? Oh, we're feeling scared, we're feeling overwhelmed, but we're going to shift, right? And we're going to shift because we've already made this decision, right? And this belief that this is where we want to live, right? We want to live in a space that's more connected with our soul and is more aligned with our soul. And this sort of, understanding and clarity does help give us balance when we're faced with life's challenges. And there are plenty of life challenges being thrown our way all the time. So when we are clear on where we're going to stand, right, we can bring ourselves back. And this makes me think of a time when, and this was years ago, I worked in the school system, and they were making some cuts, and they were cutting a social work position, and I was the last hire, so tag I was it. And I remember, at that point feeling like I'm okay, like I didn't want this to happen in one way because I needed the money, but I'm okay. And a part of me felt I want to say at peace, at peace with what was. In other words, I knew that in some way it would serve me. In some way I would, benefit. And even though I didn't have all the answers at the time, I truly believed that. And so that, right, helped me deal with the reality, right, that now I was going to have to undertake a big change. Really, in other words, I was being taken out of my comfort zone, financially and environmentally, right? I was taken out of my comfort zone. And so this, right, knowing, because I already had made this decision that I was going to be serving my soul, and that I was trusting that I am connected with this divine energy. In other words, there's this unification between spirit and I. And the more I reminded myself of that, the safer I felt. Didn't mean that sometimes I didn't feel uncertain, but I was able to remind myself, right, of who I was serving, and align myself with that mindset, so that this mindset didn't run amok and didn't just take me all the way to the other side, of the town, let's say, right? So that was very helpful to me. Now, had this happened to me before I was consciously thinking about, who am I serving, then it would have looked very differently. The old Maria would have been in total panic and total fear, as opposed to this inner trust that kept on, showing up for me, or that I kept on being able to rely on, because I already had made that decision in my own spiritual practice that I'm here to serve, and that I'm here to serve my soul in some way, shape, or form. And actually, this change in work helped me then get more in alignment with what I did want to do at the time. In other words, at that, it's like a part of me was, yeah, good with being in the schools because, yes, working with the kids felt nice, and it was a secure job, secure in quotes, right? Wasn't that secure, but it felt, like, oh, good, overall a good place to be. But there was also a part of me that was yearning for something else, and I was comfortable, right? I was comfortable with what was, and I was just going with that. But the disruption in my situation, right, called for me to have to anchor in more into this, right, belief that I'm being supported, right? And so that decision that I made came in to help me in that moment in time, and in many moments in time, actually. But I give you this example so that you can see that in many different ways, right? When we make a decision, it has power, it has energy that carries us in the moments where we're going to feel fear, right? In the moments where the ego tries to tell us, OMG, what are you going to do now, right? In the moments where typically we would have panicked, just a few years back. Now here you are, like, okay, I don't have all the answers, and yeah, this is uncomfortable, but I'm okay. And so the more that I align myself, right, and reminded myself with that decision, right, that I'm here to serve my soul, then everything, changed. And a sense of lightness came over me because there was this increased sense of trust. So who we're serving does matter. It matters how we establish our relationships. It matters how we deal with circumstances that are thrown our way that we're not anticipating. And it just does matter. So I'm going to pause for a second and get a word from my bag of words and see what else I'm inspired to share in relation to this topic. Dream. Okay, beautiful. So what's interesting too, when I think of dream, it's like sometimes when we're forced into a shift, we are also then having to look at our dreams, right? If we're going to experience change or have to reinvent ourselves and so forth, then that's an opportunity to look at our dreams. But also when we have made the decision of serving, right, our soul and not, being at the beck and call of our ego, then something else happens, right? Is that, yes, we are more daring to dream. In other words, we're not going to be so afraid of dreaming, right? We can actually even contemplate dreaming, having bigger dreams for ourselves because we're feeling more supported, right? So then dreaming doesn't seem so crazy or out of reach. Even if we don't have all the answers, it still feels like something that we can dare to do, right? That we can dare to dream, because we have this divine support that is guiding us, as opposed to us thinking of ourselves as just, these human beings that are, at the ego's, what do you call that, thumb, and we can only experience, what our mind allows us to experience. Whereas when we connect and, meditate and actually I'm thinking like it's almost like swimming in the divine. It's like when we allow ourselves to really go deeper, and swim deeper into the ocean of the divine, then we are more daring, and we allow ourselves to the opportunity to dream bigger, right, and to see other possibilities for ourselves, because we feel safer connecting with our soul, since we've already made that decision. And once we're connected with our soul, we can connect with what feels good within us, right? We can dare to tap into that and say, interesting. I am feeling pulled towards this direction. And then you may also notice some fear come up, but then you can work on that as well, right? But you've been able to at least tap in to the fact that there was something else that you are drawn to, connected to, and feeling this desire towards, right? But it's coming from within, it's coming from a soul level. But once we, yeah, decide that we are going to, serve our soul, then we can, take a peek at what our soul really wants, right? And what is our soul dreaming of. So I hope that helps you. If it did, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.